Hi there guys, so I want to tell you a little story about how I tracked down my Jamaican granddad who I've never met before in a different country and found him. Throughout my life of growing up, I've never known my real Jamaican granddad. The story that I've always been told was that he left my grandma shortly after having his two kids, which was my dad and uncle. And that's it, that's all I've known. So I've always wondered who he is, where he is, and just everything in between. All I knew that he was living in Miami, in America, and works at a radio station. So in 2016, I was planning a road trip to America, and I said to my family, wouldn't it be funny if I was to accidentally bump into him in Miami? And I thought about it and I thought, no, why don't I? Why don't I do that? I know he lives in Miami, he works at a radio station, why don't I just turn up there and find out? So here's a video of me outside that radio station.
I've actually gotten up really early in the morning and actually driven to the place. WAV's radio station, Sound of the Caribbean. I've never seen my real granddad before, so I'm gonna turn up on the doorstep and say I'm your grandson.
It was a really funny moment because I get there, I open the door and there's some young guy sitting at a desk and I just say, excuse me, is there a man called Horace here? He says, oh no, sorry, he's on sick leave at the moment. Is there something that I can help with? I said, yeah, this is gonna be a bit strange to hear, but I'm his grandson. I've come across the world to try and track him down. I've never met or spoken to him before. I was told he works here and I wanted to meet him. Can you help me out at all? That's pretty much it. He said, well, I have his phone number. You can give him a call if you like. I thought, well, I guess that's the next best thing, let's do it, why not? I dial the number, he picks up the phone and I say, hi, my name's Andy. This may be a bit strange to hear, but I've come from England to come and find you. I'm your young lost grandson. I mean, I was expecting him to hang up the phone right then and there, but no, he was actually a bit confused, and I mean, who wouldn't be? So I said to him, yeah, back in the 1950s, you had two children with my grandma in Jamaica. The kids' names were Stephen and David. Stephen is my dad. We've always wanted to know who you are and just know anything about you, and I was told that you work at this radio station, which I'm calling from now. And yeah, I'd love to come and meet you. Is that possible? He started to understand a little bit. I had to keep repeating some things, but he faintly remembered having two children and my grandma back in Jamaica. But we're talking 40 plus years ago, so I can understand. But he just simply said to me, how long are you planning to stay out here for? Let's meet up. I said to him, well, I'm planning on going back up north tomorrow afternoon. I don't really have that much time. He said, well, I can't do today, I'm quite busy, but I could do tomorrow before you go. Why don't you come to my apartment? I said, I don't know, because I'm traveling with a friend and I don't want to muck up plans. So I said, look, let me just take down your address and I'll try and see you tomorrow. So I went back home and I told the whole story to my friend and I said, I don't know if we're going to be able to fit this in. I don't know if I can see him. It's a bit too tight. And he just said, what are you on about? We've got plenty of time. We'll just delay our plans. Like, we're here, you've got to see him. And I thought, yeah, what am I doing? I'm this close. Just delay the plans, why the hell not? So, tomorrow came, and I drove to his place.
So I've come to his apartment. I think this is where he lives. So I'm actually gonna turn up on his doorstep and have a good old chin wag.
I literally walk up, knock on the door, he opens it, and I go, I'm your grandson. I was still a little bit apprehensive because, this is America at the end of the day, they have guns. But no, he opened the door, he welcomed me in. He was just so lovely. He was very adamant on feeding me these little yogurts and jelly pots. He just kept wanting to feed me. I was like, it's okay. I haven't come here to eat. I've literally come here to meet you. Upon meeting him, I told him the version of the story that I've always been told, that he left my grandma all those years ago. However, he told me a completely different version. He pretty much said that my grandma had left with the kids without him knowing. I mean, he was a bit of a womanizer. I guess I can understand, but still, it's not really my place to say anything between them two, what happened all those years ago. So yeah, I can't really comment. I've just been told there's two different versions of the story. So who knows what happened. So from that moment, he never saw his kids again. He had a couple of photos that he showed me, which were of my dad and my uncle when they were children. But yeah, that's all that he had. He tried a few times over the years to try and get in contact with my grandma, but I don't know, he didn't really have any proper contact details. All he knew was that his kids lived somewhere in England, and that's it. I tried getting some of my family members on the phone to try and talk to him. I got my brother and my cousin.
I'm here with Grandad. Do you want to speak to him? I know, it's crazy.
Which was really cool because us three in particular, we're just fascinated with who this guy is. Unfortunately, at the time, I was unable to get my dad on the phone because he was on holiday as well, which was a real shame. So after around 2 hours or so with him and learning about each other's lives, it was time for me to go. So we exchanged details and I left with a big smile on my face.
Let's take a picture now. Can you take a picture, dear?
I can take a picture. I'm glad that we've got some contact with you now.
Yeah, I'm glad we kind of managed after all these donkey years.
Yeah. Do you actually live here or have you got another place?
No, I live here.
You do live here.
I'm like a pigeon. I just fly in, sleep, and fly out.
Fly out, that's it.
The three of us live together.
Yeah.
Me, myself, and I.
That's it.
That's 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Equals 1.
Yeah.
The next few days, I started to get these random friend requests on Facebook from these random people. They started messaging me and thanking me for tracking down my granddad. They lived in other parts of America, Canada, and as well as Jamaica. Apparently, these people were all cousins, aunts, and uncles, all thanking me for finding my granddad because they've been trying to track down the other side of the family tree for 40 plus years, as my dad and uncle were the first kids my Jamaican granddad had. Then he went off and had more kids with other women, but then I realised, I've got this whole new family telling me all these details about history and filling in the gaps, and they all wanted to meet me. I thought, this is amazing. Not only have I finally met my Jamaican granddad after all these years, but now all of a sudden I'm getting all these members of an extended family I never knew I had getting in touch with me. An uncle that got in touch with me said that he lived in LA, and I said I'd love to meet up because I'm actually going to be there in a couple of weeks' time. And it just so happens that my brother was going to be visiting me in LA around about that time. And I said to him, "You fancy meeting an uncle that we never knew we had?" So we met him and his family. It was so cool just hanging out with them and then getting details of new family members. It was just absolutely crazy. I've come here to meet one person, but now I'm ended up talking to several new family members. It was amazing and just, really exciting. When I finished my trip and got home, I showed all the pictures and videos to my dad about how I met his real dad, who he's never known. I just said, you've got to meet him. He's just like you, he sounds like you, his behaviour, just everything. You've got to meet him. And he wants to meet you too. So the following year, we started to make plans for my dad to go to America to meet him. However, unfortunately, my Jamaican granddad, he ended up passing away. It was quite upsetting, not only because, I wanted to see him again, but also more for the fact that I wanted to see the experience of my dad meeting his dad for the first time ever. But, it was never meant to be. A funeral was planned not too long after, and we was invited out there to attend, and, well, we couldn't turn the moment down. Unfortunately, my dad was unable to attend, so me, my brother and cousin, we all flew out there. I got to see all these new family members that reached out to me, including loads more. We hung out with them at their places, we went out in the evenings, it was just such a surreal time. And the really weird thing is that it didn't feel weird or awkward. It just felt like we were family for all these years, as everyone was just so welcoming. Over the next few years, we've actually kept in touch via a WhatsApp group, which my dad is actually a part of. And then during lockdown, we got together on numerous Zoom calls. We hung out, we caught up, we learned about each other's families and histories. It was just really nice. And, of course, it would have been nice to meet in person, but this is COVID times, this is the next best thing that we got. There's even been talks about a big reunion happening in Jamaica, which would be really cool, even with new family members who I haven't even met yet. Again, due to COVID, this has been delayed, so it may happen in 2023. I don't know. And that's my story of how I tracked down my Jamaican granddad, and from that moment, open up a whole new life of family members that I never imagined having. You know, whenever I tell this story to people, everyone says exactly the same thing. You know, this story is amazing. This should be made into a movie, and I couldn't agree more. So Hollywood, if you're watching, let's do this. I of course have to play myself. You know, I'm the star at the end of the day. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. If there's anyone out there who's in the same situation as me and you've never met a family member before, be it a mum, dad, grandparent, and you're a bit apprehensive on doing it, just do it. Just do it. It's just such a wonderful feeling, just getting answers that explain why you are who you are. It's just something that I will never ever regret doing. Anyway, here's to whatever the future holds to me and my new family. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.